Have you ever wondered what the original no makeup look was? We're talking way back centuries ago. The ideal of beauty for a very long time was this idea of a pure, natural face. Think flawless, blemish-free skin, no freckles, no marks. Just a pristine canvas. It sounds simple, right? But achieving that natural perfection was anything but. While society praised this untouched look, behind closed doors, women were becoming master chemists, secretly concocting their own remedies and cosmetics to enhance their features and hide any so-called imperfections. It was the ultimate beauty paradox. Let's travel back to ancient Egypt. This is where makeup wasn't just about beauty. It was about power, spirituality, and protection. Both men and women would line their eyes with thick black kohl. This wasn't just for that dramatic, captivating look we admire today. They believed the dark liner, made from ground galena, would ward off evil spirits and protect their eyes from the harsh desert sun. For eyeshadow, they used finely ground malachite, a vibrant green mineral, which they believed had healing properties, and for their lips and cheeks, a stain made from red ochre mixed with resin or beeswax. So, while they created a very distinct, stylized look, it was deeply intertwined with their daily life and spiritual beliefs. It was makeup as a tool for both beauty and survival. Now, let's jump over to ancient Greece. The Greeks had a completely different philosophy. They were all about that au naturel vibe. Their ideal was a look that celebrated natural features, almost as if you just woke up looking like a goddess. But here's the secret, they were definitely using products to get there. To achieve that pale, luminous skin they admired, women would use powders made from ground lead. Yes, lead. We now know it's incredibly toxic, but back then it was the key to that coveted ghostly complexion. It was a dangerous pursuit of beauty. For a subtle hint of color, they might use crushed berries or earthy pigments on their lips and cheeks, always aiming for a look that whispered, not shouted. The goal was to look enhanced, but not obviously made up. Then came the Roman Empire. The Romans were a bit more extravagant than the Greeks. They loved their spas, their perfumes, and yes, their cosmetics. While they still admired the pale skin ideal, they were more open about using makeup. Roman women would use chalk powder or white lead for their foundation, creating that smooth porcelain base. They'd use soot for eyeliner and mascara and create blush and lipstick from things like red ochre, fucus, a type of algae, or even the dregs of red wine. They even had anti-wrinkle creams made from ingredients like beeswax, olive oil, and rosewater. What's fascinating is that Ovid, the famous Roman poet, even wrote a poem titled The Art of Beauty, which was essentially a guide to cosmetics and skincare, complete with recipes. It shows just how integral cosmetics have become to a Roman woman's daily routine. As we move into the Middle Ages in Europe, things take a dramatic turn. The influence of the church grew, and with it came a more austere view of beauty. Makeup was often seen as deceptive and sinful, a tool of vanity that went against God's creation. The focus shifted entirely to inner beauty and piety. A pale complexion was still desirable, but now it symbolized a life lived indoors, away from manual labor, signifying wealth and leisure. So how did women achieve this? Some would resort to extreme, dangerous methods like bloodletting to make themselves look paler and more delicate. It was a time when enhancing one's appearance was a risky business, both for your health and your reputation. But then, the Renaissance burst onto the scene, and everything changed again. Art, culture, and a new human-centered worldview flourished, and with it, a renewed interest in cosmetics. In Italy and France, beauty became an art form. High-domed foreheads were considered the height of fashion, and women would actually pluck their hairlines back to achieve this look. That pale, almost translucent skin was still the ultimate goal. To get it, they continued to use toxic concoctions like Venetian ceruse, a skin-whitening powder made from white lead. It was famous for giving a beautiful, pearlescent finish, but it was also corroding the skin underneath and causing severe health problems over time. For a flush of color, they'd use vermilion on their lips and cheeks, a brilliant red pigment derived from mercury. Beauty was literally a dance with death. The 18th century, especially in the French court of Versailles, was the peak of artificiality. This was the era of powdered wigs, extravagant hairstyles, and very, very visible makeup. It wasn't about looking natural anymore. It was about creating a theatrical, doll-like appearance. Both men and women would cake their faces in white lead powder. They'd apply bright circular patches of red rouge high on their cheekbones. And they popularized mouches, or beauty patches. These were little black dots made of silk or velvet, cut into shapes like hearts or stars, and placed strategically on the face. Each placement had a secret meaning. A patch near the eye could mean you're passionate, while one by the corner of the mouth suggested you were a flirt. Makeup had become a language, a way to send silent messages in the opulent world of the aristocracy. But just as quickly as it reached its peak, this artifice came crashing down with the French Revolution. The Victorian era, which followed, brought a return to modesty and a deep suspicion of overt makeup. Queen Victoria herself declared makeup to be improper, vulgar, and unacceptable. A respectable woman was supposed to have a naturally rosy complexion, a sign of her delicate health and pure character. So, what did women do? They went back to their secret remedies. They'd pinch their cheeks and bite their lips before entering a room to bring a natural flush of color to their face. They'd use beetroot juice for a subtle lip stain or rice powder to take away shine. Creams made from oatmeal, honey, and eggs were used to keep skin soft. It was all about creating the illusion of natural beauty without a single visible trace of a product. The secret cosmetic arts were alive and well, just hidden from view. It wasn't until the early 20th century that the cosmetics industry as we know it began to take shape. The rise of Hollywood and movie stars created new beauty icons. Women wanted to emulate the glamorous looks they saw on screen. Entrepreneurs like Max Factor, Helena Rubinstein, and Elizabeth Arden saw an opportunity and started creating products for the general public, not just for actresses. The first commercially produced mascara, lipstick in a tube, and compact powders became widely available. Makeup was finally coming out of the shadows and into the mainstream. It was no longer a secret to be hidden, but a tool for self-expression, glamour, and confidence that was accessible to everyone. From ancient spiritual rituals to the secret potions of the Victorian era, the history of makeup is a story of creativity, rebellion, and the timeless desire to present our best selves to the world. The definition of beauty is always changing, but one thing remains the same: our fascinating and enduring relationship with the art of cosmetics. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through beauty history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.